Good afternoon. Live from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, John Ting with GreenCardGuys.tv, and I'm here to answer the question, should I marry for a green card? And we're going to share all the amazing tips, hot tips with you today. But if you're new to a channel, welcome and please subscribe down below and go ahead and click the like button and also the bell for all future notifications of your free tips and news. Now, let's get down to business here. Should I marry for a green card? Now, of course, when you hear that, you might think, well, of course, I'm not going to get into a fake marriage. But believe it or not, we have received calls, not many, but a few calls. And people say, I'm thinking about getting married to, this person. And, and then when I get that feeling like they don't really know that person, then I start digging. I start asking questions. And the reason why, as an attorney, I need to verify to the best of my ability that this is a real marriage. And look, at the end of the day, because there could be some people who say, oh, but so and so will take my case. Well, okay, go to them. I don't accept, our law firm does not accept any uh, fake marriage type case. I've heard horrible stories. And what we do as a team is that we try our best to verify the authenticity of those documents. It can be difficult. For example, tax returns. I've heard of a story where a local Houston attorney was um, was at least indicted. Okay, but I don't know the truth on that one. But they had mentioned fake tax returns, and I can imagine it's difficult. But at the end of the day, for you, if you are considering to get married to maybe it's like a friend or someone you've known, short time period, and it's not really for love. I know it's difficult to get married and find the right match. It's difficult. But what is more difficult is if you put yourself in a situation where you're in front of the USCIS officer, and we all know you're going to have the interview together. Okay, this is a situation more specifically about when you're here in the United States. Now, I still recommend not to enter into a fake marriage, uh, regardless of pathway, because, however, please note that for consular processing, the interview is only for the beneficiary, the immigrant, the foreign national. It is not a joint interview when you're abroad. So I know that's kind of strange in my opinion. I guess the government doesn't want to force a US citizen or the sponsor to be at the interview because it's more expense. I get it. So I see some questions in the comments. Appreciate it. Let me know where you're watching from. I always think it's interesting how far the YouTube channel has reached. So that's tip number one. All right. Now, hot tip number two, provide joint financial statements. This might sound weird that I'm saying this because you might think, well, we have an account, but we don't really use it, or there's no intention behind that joint account. Really need to put some thought to it, okay, folks. The reason you're providing a statement together, is because you want to show that you're living together. It's not just the address, but like you're living a life together as spouses, okay? No matter what the heterosexual or homos, I don't want to use that, like same-sex marriage. I think that's a more proper phrasing from what I understand. But either way, you need to have the account together and use it, okay? And I highly recommend using it as the primary account. Now, the USCIS is not saying that you need to have every single bank account or savings checking account together. It's really just one. Okay, so folks, even if you have a credit card that's together, I recommend paying that joint credit card, or at least even if it's a one person account credit card, using the joint bank account. And really, because you're going to tie things together here, okay, financially for the USCIS officer, you want to make it as easy as possible for the officer to make a decision on your case. So if you're going to have separate accounts, you're going to make it more difficult. Why even do that? Why spend $1,760 government fees on this, and you don't give yourself the best chance? And when I say you, I mean many of you out there, unfortunately, because we do get a lot of calls, and when we need to refile, we typically recommend to refile the case, unless there's like a marriage fraud finding. Then that's a whole complicated thing. That's why I share tip number one: do not enter into a fake marriage. Okay, I'm not saying don't enter into an arranged marriage where it's based on custom and culture of your country or religion. I totally get that, but you still need to prove with documentation. Okay, so that's tip number two. Now, of course, there's so many tips I can share with y'all, but these are what I think right now, at least the top three tips. So let's get into it. I'm going to share tip number three right now. Before I get right into that and share that, please, if you enjoy the content and the way we share information, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. And click the bell for all notifications of our future videos and with the latest videos. By the way, folks, if you are new to the channel, you might not know this, but we do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion. See if we can point you in the right direction. I totally understand that you might not need a lawyer for your entire case, and that's completely fine. On our website, if you're not able to give us a call right up here, there's a phone number. But if you're busy, no problem. I completely understand. What we do have here for you folks is a downloadable guide on our website, greencardguys.com. That's where you can find it. We have one specific to mandamus lawsuits. It's a excuse me. That is about when you're filing the government on unreasonable delays. A lot of y'all suffering out there, unfortunately, but this has been a recurring incident even before the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, a lot more people are waiting much longer for their visa or their residency, their resident card. Okay, and actually for citizenship as well. So it affects. Unfortunately, these delays affect all types of cases, and you're not the only one suffering. So with that being said, we do have a Facebook group. They can join and share information with each other. Green Card Guys Academy. Check it out. It should be also linked in below in our description box if you want to click on it. All right, and then I know some of y'all asked if we have if we have WhatsApp. Okay, I know some law firms don't care for it, but all right, let's see here. Let me share that with you because it is a lot to manage. But here is our WhatsApp number down below, 346-330-5888. It is different from the one above. The one above is US based only. Okay, so if you're tired of waiting, for sure, give us a call. Maybe we can point you in the right direction. And let's see, yeah, if you have any questions, please drop it in the comments. We're happy to see if we can do our best to answer that. And here we are. And to unlock those free 15 minutes, we do have a secret code to share with you. And towards the end of the show, we'll probably be on for another 5 minutes or so minimum. And you grab that secret code, and then you can share it with our cares team when you call in, and they'll do their best to schedule you. So, by the way, just real quickly here, this is how you get to our website. This is how it looks: greencardguys.com. Click on Contact Us, then scroll down and click on Take a Quiz and answer a couple questions. And then when a cares team calls you back, they'll verify that with you, especially if you've been denied before or have some kind of notice, 221G notice, or RFE or NOID, notice of intent to deny. They can ask that copy for you, but it's also available on the form on our website that you can upload directly. And after you fill out that form, it will take you to a page to self-schedule appointment. Okay, folks? Now, the third tip right here is that I know you get married and then, you of course share more information with each other and then come to realize, oh, you're not, don't have any legal status. So, hey, why not? I'll go sponsor you. I have residency though. I'm not a US citizen. Yes, you can sponsor you can get a sponsor as a resident. That is good. However, here's the tip. Listen in. If you have a resident as a sponsor, it's not going to waive the unlawful presence automatically. Okay. Now, the thing here is if you entered with a visa, then I highly recommend that your sponsor, who's a resident, apply to become a US citizen. And unfortunately, if you file as a resident or your sponsor files as a resident and then, upgrades and becomes a US citizen, you have to refile a petition. Okay. So you're going to have to spend another $535. And a sponsor as a resident, you cannot file the 485 form at the same time. So that's a lot of hot tips right there. And also, if you have, if the Visa Bulletin F2A shows current, which it does right now this month, then you can file, and you have maintained your status, then you can file the 485. But it's at the same time as a petition. But the Visa Bulletin changes month to month. So I highly recommend that the sponsor become a US citizen, especially when you, as a foreign national, has entered with a visa, because then you don't have to have the interview abroad. However, if the sponsor is a resident and does not apply to become a US citizen, even if you enter with visa, you're going to have to go back to your country for the interview. Most likely, okay? Talk to your lawyer, talk to a professional. Every situation is different. I just share a lot of nuanced tips here. So you might lose track of it, to be honest. So that's why it's better to get verification, speak with a lawyer, okay? And because the kicker here is if most people that call us, they fail to maintain their status, aka they overstay. Now, of course, if you maintain your status, you enter the visa, and your spouse is a resident, and your visa bulletin is current. Look at that. That's like four things to consider and verify, at least four things. Then you can file the 485. Okay, so that's just a lot to capture, to keep up with, and that's one main reason to hire a lawyer to verify that for you. Okay. So I just shared a lot on that third tip. So please, what I recommend you do is save this video. And of course, so you can go back to it later. And then you can go ahead and share it with a friend. You think, if you know, not think, if you know that they're going through something similar, go ahead and share the video with your friends. I greatly appreciate it because it's just one way that our channel can continue growing. And with more people tuning in, then of course, I feel more comfortable sharing more tips. And there's a load of them, of course. So let's see. Well, I don't see any questions, but I do see some hellos. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. What's up, Marlon? Nice to see you again. Blessings to you as well. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, those are the tips. Um, if you have been suffering a delay, a delay on your case, which you probably have, but you might think that your delay is only to you. It's only happening to you, and it can get frustrating. It's it's not. Unfortunately, it's happening to at least 400,000 people. Just those 400,000 people are abroad. So those are not even the folks that are suffering delays in the United States. Okay, and people are suffering delays not just based on the decision of the case, but also the interview. Can you believe that? It can be based on asylum case application, which is the 589. It could be based on the I-130 petition, which established a family relationship. It could be based on the 485, which is adjustment of status, and also the 601A waiver. 601A waiver is at least on the processing time schedule 24 months. It's ridiculous, folks. Okay, so keep that in mind. But we've had some calls where, they just want to verify, is it appropriate? Like I just spoke with someone, I believe, earlier this week, and they were asking about file a mandamus case for a petition. But then this person's abroad. We come to find out that they w- she would need to file a waiver. And I don't know, maybe we're different than most law firms, but we're just either the bearer of the bad news, and when we're very transparent and tell them, look, if I were you, if you're going to spend attorney money, fees on a mandamus case, I would recommend to wait until you're suffering delay on the waiver case. Okay, so that's just how we are. We try to understand the big picture, the strategy on the case as a whole, And when I mean a case, the opportunity to become a resident or to become a citizen. We'll look at the entire steps, which means we have to understand your back history as well, and immigration history if you've been in the United States before. All right. Because a lot of that, some people try to hide that, and the government already knows. I know it may appear they're unorganized, but at some point, these kind of things, when you have prior applications with U.S. Department of State or USCIS, they'll bring it up. They'll find it. Okay. So do not lie, please, folks. They're going to find out. Otherwise, if you do lie, then you're going to have to file another waiver for misrepresentation. So we'll cover that topic next week about waivers and more detail on that, tips with that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, please drop your comments. What are y'all up to this weekend? What's going on in your area of the town, of the country? The weather is getting pretty good here in Houston. Fortunately, it's, I believe, I gotta look at my phone to verify the weather. Isn't that kind of crazy? But I know it felt really good last night. It's 82 degrees here in Houston, Texas. How's it in your neck of the woods? All right. So, yeah, delays are a major concern. And just people hesitating to file their case to begin with. Another major problem that people are suffering that I think people don't realize are at least two. Okay. And that is when they file a family preference petition, let's say their parent filed for them, and then, uh, you know, that person's been in the United States, overstayed a visa, need to apply for a waiver because the default is that you have to have your visa interview abroad since that person has not maintained their status. So when that information comes out in the consultation, then we recommend, hey, you need to file a waiver. Of course, we're happy to help you. And the person, there's been some people that say, well, I knew about the waiver, but I didn't know when to file. I thought we needed, my qualifying relative, the parent that has status, to have some kind of medical concern, condition, or some kind of disease. No, it does not require that. It is helpful information, but it does not require that. Okay. So all those years have passed after the petition was approved, and they could have filed already. I think it was the last person that talked to us about this was 5 years ago, at least minimum. So don't wait on it. Okay. Get it done. Get it done, especially because waivers these days take at least 2 years to process. Now, not saying you have to wait 2 years and then you file mandamus, okay, lawsuit. You could do it earlier. Um, Whatever the government deems as, or we deem as unreasonable as well. And we'll talk about that. If you're not sure and you're wondering if it's unreasonable delay or not, give us a call. All right. We're happy to help you. That's our number scrolling down below, our WhatsApp number. You can also call that number as a US based, and we're happy to point you in the right direction, folks. Don't wait any longer. No, I know someone commented on the channel a week or two ago and said that they are still waiting after they responded to the 221G document, and it's been over a year. I think that person said October 2021, and now it's November 2022, right? So I think a lot of people assume the government is going to get back to you. It's very unfortunate. The government is taking advantage of a lot of people. Um, I've been thinking that, oh, it's because they're not organized. Who knows? Maybe it could be a whole host of reasons, but just because the government would maybe blame the pandemic and say less people are working. Well, obviously, less people are working in general, probably across the world. I can only attest to that in America, but don't let the government use that as an excuse. That doesn't mean wait. You can file a lawsuit, okay? Of course, your legal team, your lawyer has to verify to the best of their ability if it be what we call ripe, meaning ready to file a lawsuit, okay? Not everyone qualifies for this. So you might want to consult with an attorney. And not every immigration attorney, number one, is familiar with mandamus lawsuit, or number two, certified in that district court. So you might want to take a look at that and ask, okay? But that's definitely something that we focus on and help everyone, because at the end of the day, our mission is to help you live and work in America freely. Okay, folks. So let's see here. Well, y'all are shy today. I don't see any questions, but that's okay. I've been live every day, Monday through Friday. So if you're watching this later on, you can tune in at 12 p.m. Central Time when you have a chance. Come hang out with us. I usually go live 15 to 30 minutes. Just drop in and say hello. All right. And if you are a regular user of TikTok, follow us right here. Okay. TikTok account is at green card guys underscore John. I try my best to share more tips over there as well, because I don't, yeah, YouTube has shorts, but we do share tips there. And yeah, if you don't have TikTok, I don't know, it can definitely suck you in. So be careful of this stuff. All right, friends. Well, I'm going to share the secret code with you guys right now. Thank you so much for your patience. Here it is. If you haven't used this and accessed this secret code down below, green card guys, you could have guessed it. It will help unlock those free 15 minutes. And by the way, here's our 5 benefits of hiring our law firm if you decide so, or you know someone else that might appreciate these benefits, like transparency of your documents, representing you start to finish, and self-schedule an appointment on our website to speak with a lawyer. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 99.9% of law firms, you have to call in or you have to email, and it's like crickets. Every client we've had has expressed appreciation of this uh, feature, I guess you could say, or a service feature that we offer. Because if you have a question, we want to try to respond to you as quick as possible. Unfortunately, we're not robots. We can't reply in like 30 minutes. But every time we receive an email, it's like we want to answer as soon as possible, even though our policy is 24 to 48 hours, folks. So, anyways, if you become a client and you're considering to hire a lawyer anyway, we do offer the benefit of self scheduling on our website, so you don't have to waste time to call or email saying to ask, hey, can we have a meeting? We completely save time on that front. Okay. So hopefully it helps, folks. I hope you stay safe and have a great weekend. Today's Friday, and I got to join a meeting. So I will talk to you later. Have a great day.